NASA and the Defense Contract Audit Agency and the Federal Aviation Administration were all done in the same.
How long did it take you to hack into NASA?
And the administrator of that machine was named Black Dog, and he came into our IRC chat, and he was like, "You're all." NASA came in. It was two agents, sat down at the kitchen table. We went over everything.
What was the first website that you hacked, government-wise?
The first one, I don't remember. Because the one that said it was the three, the NASA and the Defense Contract Audit Agency and the Federal Aviation Administration were all done in the same. I think it was November 23rd, 1999.
Oh man, you remember the exact day?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I might get skill checked, nerd sniped, but that was like what caught the attention of mainstream media, and
yeah, this one everywhere, correct?
Yeah, it was on Wired, CNN, Fox. It got pretty big traction. Yeah, but that's the one I know, because I was doing local government stuff. I'd done the thing that was crazy that I found out later was that the police department systems that I hacked actually, like, if I would have traversed the network, I would have been able to pull up, like, access like is it NCIS? I think it is the national, like the be able to look at warrants, like international or national warrants, and I could have manipulated like actual police records, like speeding tickets and that for whatever reason their website was on the same network that all the rest of that stuff was. So I didn't find that out until after the fact. Again, my mission was basically to go in. Sometimes I would install some kind of persistence, that way I could get back in, but for the most part it was just I would deface the website, and then it would have instructions on how to fix it, how to remediate what was going on. So yeah, it's just, I'm trying to remember. I'm pretty sure that some of that stuff, some state government stuff, had happened before that, but the NASA one was the one that kind of blew up. But I didn't stop after that. I still kept going. How long did it take
you to hack into NASA?
Not long. So the thing that was, I think people have a misconception about what hacking really is. Like, think you're just grinding out passwords or anything. There was a exploit that I was leveraging in a database service that came on, like, if you had a website that was running on a Windows system, there was a msadc.dll. It was for data connections, but it was a dynamic link library that was accessible from the internet. The problem is the way that it was configured out of the box is you could send it shell commands and basically issue commands to the box as if you were sitting there, if you had an account on the machine, and it would run under the web user permissions. So I had modified a lot of people when they were using this way of defacing. All they were doing is they would echo a text string to the index page of the website. So you would just get this black and white screen that said Shawn Ryan was here type thing. The way I did it was I would basically manifest network shares on the machine that I could connect to, and then I had full directory access. And so it's basically more robust than what was originally designed, like the proof of concept type thing. So it was an exploit that somebody else, this guy Rainforest Puppy, had developed and found, and then I just kind of did my own little spin onto it. But it's really easy because you could just grind out sites, and if you saw that this library existed on the website you were investigating, then you knew it was probably vulnerable. So I would write grinders that would take, like, ShawnRyanShow.com, VigilanceElite.com, all these different websites, and then I could just plug in and see, is this file present? Is it not present? Type things. So it was carpet bombing the internet. So if I saw one that if I was more focused on something, then it was easy for me to just kind of go in there and look. But I was just loading up domain lists, anything that ended in .gov, .mil. I had there was a site called Netcraft back then that it kept a repository of what operating systems and versions and stuff that sites were running, and so you can get good DNS intelligence from that and find out what not only top level domains but subdomains of that belong to the government or the military. So there's different ways to do it now through passive DNS scanning and stuff, but that was how I got the laundry list back then.
How many government organizations did you hack at once?
20 something. A lot.
How did you get approached? I mean, I got a lot of questions. How did they approach you when they were on to you?
So there was this kid that was, again, these hacker groups, we all have these little cliques and shit. We had this one called Sesame Street Hackers. It was a joke on Secure Shell because SSH is a software that you use to log into a machine securely. But we had the same initialism, but it was Sesame Street Hackers. And there was this kid, his name was Darkness, and he was 15, so a little younger than I was. And he broke into a satellite, and instead of deleting the logs, he accidentally deleted everything on the machine, like completely screwed up. And the administrator of that machine was named Black Dog, and he came into our IRC chat, and he was like, "You're all, like, all of you are, they're after you. Like, you don't understand." He even put this site back up, and he had like edited the stuff that we edited, so he redefaced our defacement. But he said they know all about you, and he knew way too much for it to be a troll. Because sometimes, obviously we'd be messing with each other, and but this guy was 100% for real. Logs on from you could see the IP address that he'd logged in from, and it was a NASA Gov one, and he just knew way too much information about what was going on, and so he was like, you should probably contact them before they contact you. And so I was like, all right, I'll call. So he gave me the number of NASA has an investigative arm called OIG, the Office of the Inspector General. I think a lot of government agencies have a similar thing, but it's like the law enforcement arm of NASA. And so I called Sheila Brock, I think was her name. And and I just basically said, "I'm Whitey Cracker. I heard you're looking for me. How can we make this peaceful?" And somehow, and so they said all the information came out later, but the Texas Department of Public Safety was after me, which is it's like their sheriff's department, because I had hacked them. There was the FBI.
You hacked the FBI?
Well, I didn't hack the FBI, but they were obviously they had an open
the
investigation.
investigators.
Yeah, there was DCIS, which I forgot what that stands for, Defense Criminal Investigative Service or something like that. I think they handled like DOD stuff. There was the NASA Office of the Inspector General. There was the Colorado Springs Police Department. I know there was 7. Like that number seared into my head, and the case report file was huge. But what I found that it was nuts, because it said after all this stuff, NASA came in. It was 2 agents, sat down at the kitchen table. We went over everything, but the interagency coordination. I mean, I'm sure you know how this stuff works. Just I cannot believe that it happened, but The FBI was supposedly 2 weeks away from kicking my door in. The local police department, they'd been set up across the street and just were monitoring, my house when I would go in and out of school and stuff. They were getting ready to kick it in. Somehow NASA was able to contact all the agencies that were at open cases against me and tell them it was their caller or whatever. So I never wound up getting my door kicked in. Like, it was just nice, invite them in, have coffee or whatever, and we just kind of discussed everything.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.